KUAM News Headlines is presented by Calvo's Insurance, serving Guam for 80 years. Matson, gold sponsor of the 2018 Micro Games in Yap. The all-new 2018 Kona by Hyundai, available at Cars Plus. IP&E, fueling excellence. McDonald's of Guam, I'm loving it. And King's Restaurant, located in Tamuning and Dedido. Always open, always local.
Ahead on primetime, 3 teens caught on camera involved in an apparent attack in Harmon last month are caught. Plus, another ATM skimming incident reported. Investigators say the scammers targeted the same location and same bank machine that was hit in June. And responding to the call, 6 people, including 2 off-duty firefighters, are recognized for their heroic actions after a young boy is spotted unresponsive in the waters off Tumon. Hafaday and good evening. He's a free man and his record expunged. Only day 3 of trial in former Bishop of Gardner Memorial School PE teacher Peregrine St. Nicholas has been acquitted of the charges. The motion for acquittal was granted on Friday afternoon on grounds there was insufficient evidence to sustain a conviction. At issue, the alleged victim and her mother wouldn't be taking the stand. The alleged victim, only to be identified by her initials as FB, is currently off island. Last year, the 10-year-old alleged St. Nicholas groped her breast on more than one occasion, prompting his arrest. Again in court today, he was acquitted of all the charges against him. They were on the run for about a week. Now 3 boys accused in an attack caught on camera at an apartment complex in Harmon last week have been captured. Police say a 14-year-old boy was taken into custody on Thursday. It was during his interview investigators received information about the 2 other teens allegedly involved. As reported, video surveillance taken on July 27th showed the suspects at the apartment building attacking a woman who lived there. The suspects could also be seen allegedly throwing rocks and threatening the victim with a machete. The trio faces charges of home invasion, burglary, terrorizing, aggravated assault, conspiracy, curfew violation, and beyond control after confessing to the crime. An investigation into a second ATM skimming device once again found on a Bank of Guam machine at the Micronesian Mall is underway. Police responded to the complaint in Dedido on Thursday. Investigators say employees from the bank's Tamuning branch received a complaint from a customer around 2:30 in the afternoon. The customer reporting that the machine at the mall was out of order. That's when officials found out that the ATM had a foreign skimming device along with an improvised camera. Criminal investigators do caution others to always scrutinize ATMs prior to using by checking the card reader to see if it appears oddly fitted and check if it easily shakes when applying force. It was in June a similar incident was reported. The FBI is investigating that case. Anyone with information is asked to call Guam Police or Guam Crime Stoppers at 477-HELP. A police investigation is underway after a halfway house inmate is caught on camera allegedly assaulting a woman known to him while on an educational release at the GCC campus in Manilao. As we reported, Department of Corrections leaders confirmed the inmate was sanctioned and suspended from the program after the issue went before a disciplinary hearing board earlier this year. The inmate could be seen on video allegedly hitting the woman and in another clip exposing himself and walking the halls of the campus unsupervised for at least 3 hours. The incident apparently happening back in April. The issue ultimately bringing to question whether the prison failed to properly handle its investigation. DOC's Oversight Chair Senator Talina Nelson and prison leaders have since forwarded the case to the Guam Police Department. An internal affairs investigation at DOC is also ongoing. Meantime, GCC officials confirm they continue to review the agreement with DepCorp, adding that the educational program remains in place. Guam Solid Waste Authority General Manager Greg Martin has resigned. And in a letter to the board, he indicates Controller Enrique Venus is also stepping down. KUAM received copies of unsigned correspondence, which a source close to GSWA confirms are by Martin. In the letters, he is highly critical of Federal Receiver Gershman, Brickner, and Bratton and its representative David Manning. Martin blames GBB for undermining his position and using anything and anyone to retain their contract. The receiver was appointed in 2008 and the court has extended the transition deadline 3 times. which the next one is scheduled for December. But the departures of Martin and Venus will likely result in another delay. The board has been pushing for local management control and has criticized the extensions of GBB's lucrative contract. Martin was hired in October and is a former executive of Waste Management, a leading company in the solid waste industry. Where is the appointed director for the Guam Customs and Quarantine Agency now that his term is up? Senators had until end of July to confirm Eric Palacios as the head of the agency, but that hasn't happened. KUAM News has obtained a copy of the letter that Oversight Chair Senator Talina Nelson has since sent to the administration, requesting they submit a nomination packet for a new individual for the legislature's consideration. Late this afternoon, Guadalupe officials say there are 24 nominations pending. The governor's spokesperson stating, quote, "The senator obviously ignored her responsibility to give her peers the option of voting Eric's appointment up or down. Sitting on these nominations means we have boards and committees that don't have quorums to meet, or in this case, an agency who doesn't have leadership." A heroic effort by beachgoers happening Liberation Day weekend. 6 people, including a 5-year-old boy, are being praised for helping to save a toddler's life, the child nearly drowning in the waters off Tumon Bay. Carmen Terlahi has the story.
3-year-old Kaya Xander Evaristo, like most kids, enjoys playing games or streaming videos online. He was doing just that when we caught up with him today. But the day after Liberation, Kaya was at the beach in Tumon with his family when the unexpected occurred.
It's really something you don't want to see. It's a nightmare.
Kaya nearly drowned. Others at the beach that day recall what happened.
I leaned back and I saw another little kid dragging something, and then that little kid, I guess was the brother, dropped him, and when I saw, little body floating, I jumped up and I started running towards the water, and I just kept yelling, "Whose kid is that? Whose kid is that?" And I kept pointing.
It was Kaya's 5-year-old brother, Jordy, trying to get his little brother to safety when others noticed something wasn't right.
Ran into the water, I picked him up and, pulled him out and was calling the parents. Whose child is this? Please come and help, It was a crazy experience.
That was a very emotional time, but we did that, and then Annie called the lifeguard that was there, Nick, and he came and he assisted us. So when we pulled Kai to the sand, it was so emotional because he wasn't breathing.
Quickly ran down, made my assessment to find that the child was pulseless and breathless, and initiated CPR.
GFD firefighter Joey Garrido was off duty that day. He was able to revive Kaya as they waited for medics to rush him to the hospital.
For sure, the timing was important, and it was really nothing short of a miracle. Things worked out well, and we're very blessed and thankful.
Joey Garrido, Brandon Sanchez, Annie Cruz, Nick Duenas, Derek Kitchichu, Arlene Kura, and Jordy Evaristo are now being recognized for their involvement in saving Kaya's life. A special ceremony for the heroes happening at the Guam Congress building today. A chance for each of them to see Kaya doing well.
I'm just glad the baby's okay. That's all that matters to me.
I'm so glad that we get to see him because I have a 3-year-old granddaughter too, so that was big. And now I know how it feels because I'm a near drowning victim myself when I was 12. So it's an experience to see if somebody saved my life. How was it to save another little boy's life with everybody's help?
The frightening experience, no doubt, was one that many can learn from. For Joel, Kaya's father, he's just glad to have this bunch now a part of their lives.
We were blessed to have them, knowing that Kai is still around. Because if it wasn't, the timing would have been off where Kai wouldn't be here. So other than that, I am truly blessed to have the people there.
A blessing so that Kaya can enjoy the rest of his life and at the beach. Reporting for Guam News Network, I'm Carmen Victoria Terlahi.
It's not your typical job fair. This one took place at the Department of Corrections in Mangilao. Here's more.
From this to this.
What are you feeling right now?
Excited.
can't keep still.
Meet Ricky McIntosh Jr. He has the skills and he's ready to work. On Friday, McIntosh had the chance to participate in a mini job fair held on prison grounds. The event was exclusive to the dozen soon-to-be graduates of DEPCOR's Residential Substance Abuse Treatment Program. DOC Director Tony Lamarena says the men will be released next week. Why not set them up for success?
We have 11 employers here who will be interviewing all the participants, and hopefully they'll be gainfully employed by the time they leave us here at DOC.
After his meet with Pernix KUAM, a construction company, McIntosh had good news to report to KUAM.
They offered me a job, something to look forward to so I can take care of my responsibilities. I don't have to idle or anything. I got plans, goals.
Also on site, Grace Donaldson from Pacific Human Resource Services, Inc. She tells us what she's looking for in an applicant.
Attitude is really important because you can learn skills. The employer can teach that, but it's very hard, very difficult to teach attitude. So the willingness to work, the willingness to learn something new.
But it's not just job hunters who need a positive attitude. Bob Dames is an employment workforce development specialist with an emphasis on offenders.
The employer sector is so important. 90% of those that reoffend are unemployed. So what's wrong with that picture? Be part of the solution. This community needs solutions, right? We don't want to keep upping the ante to pay for people to be warehoused. We're looking for opportunities for change, right?
According to local prison statistics, there's a 60% recidivism rate.
A lot of the failure for inmates is when they're released is not being employed. And so they resort back to where they came from. So hopefully this will be a new start for them with gainful employment once they're released here, so that they don't go back. One of the things that we always try to tell them is when you leave here, you've got to change your playground and change your playmates. And so, hopefully with this opportunity, they'll be able to have the resources to do just that.
Stick around for more news here on Primetime. You're watching KUAM.
There are more ways to experience KUAM News than any other source on Guam. Download the KUAM News app for your Apple or Android device for 24/7 news, sports, videos, weather, streaming with KUAM radio, and important news alerts. And stay connected at home with Guam's first app for Apple TV. All available now from the App Store.
A simple handshake. That's all Jake Calvo needed when he started his company. Today, 80 years later, we like to say thank you to all of you who have taken our hand in trust. Thank you to the dreamers. Thank you to the realists. Thank you to the family-oriented. Thank you to the entrepreneurial. Thank you to those climbing the corporate ladder. And to the ones starting a new life together. Thank you to the traditionalists and the edgy. To the young at heart and the old souls. Thank you to the daring, to the protective, to the practical. Thank you to the hopeful. To all of you from all of us, our deepest, happiest, and infinite thanks.
80 years here for you. 80 years thanks to you. Calvo's Insurance, a legacy of trust.
One of the things I really like about Louis and Josh as well is that they're really down to earth. They're easy to talk to. They're really big supporters of not only small business but entrepreneurs, and definitely helping out people with the community. Falls in line with what I believe in terms of my business. So it's a perfect fit to be working and supporting with Lou and Josh. They're always looking for change. My suggestion is if you have an issue or if you have a concern or problem, I guarantee you they have an open door policy. Approach it to them and see what those issues are, and I'm sure they'll give you a response for what your perception is. I would say anybody can quit. Don't be anybody. My name is Ray Chargoff and I'm supporting Lou and Josh. I'm in.
I'm Lilian Guerrero and I approve this message.
Win adventure in the ITNE Explore Your World Million Mile giveaway. Every week from July 16 to November 2nd, we're giving away 60,000 United Mileage Plus miles to IT&E postpaid and prepaid subscribers. Imagine where you could go. Go on a weekend getaway to the Philippines. Enjoy fresh sushi in Japan. Itadakimasu. Sip a latte at a cafe in Paris. Or use your miles for shopping and other rewards. It's your world. Explore it.
There are more ways to experience Guam via KUAM News, giving you what you want, when you want, and how you want it. From smart devices, Alexa, what's in the news?
Here's your flash briefing.
Over the web, on mobile, on streaming platforms, with immersive, interactive formats, and via social media where it's more than just content, it's conversation. More ways to keep you informed and entertained whenever you want it, wherever you are, on whatever device you're using.
Judge Arthur Barcenas rules in favor of DFS in a counterclaim against rival Lotte Duty-Free Guam. Lotte had filed claims against DFS alleging intentional interference in its $154 million master concessionaire contract with the airport. But DFS countersued, arguing successfully that Lotte's claims violated its rights under a law known as the Citizen Participation in Government Act. That law protects DFS from opposing parties seeking to silence or intimidate them by putting them through great expense, harassment, and interruption of productive activities. Judge Barcenas granted a DFS request for attorney's fees and for sanctions. He also dismissed Lotte's claims with prejudice. In a news release, Lotte says it will file an appeal with the Supreme Court and calls the DFS suit, quote, nothing more than an attempt to keep its monopoly and keep competition out, end quote. The litigation is separate from the primary lawsuit involving DFS and the airport over a 2013 concession deal. In February, Barcenas ruled the contract is void because of a procurement violation. GIAA has appealed the ruling to the Supreme Court. If you're a Gov Guam employee with NetCare health insurance, you might be forced to choose a new provider soon. This after NetCare rejects DOA's request for a 12-month extension. NetCare is currently one of 3 government health insurance providers servicing more than 3,000 Gov Guam employees and their families. NetCare plan administrator Jerry Crisosimo says, quote, the unpredictability of government finances played into their decision. He notes GMH is behind in payments, last paying premiums in January, and the retirement fund is 2 months behind. NetCare also disagrees with the 1-year extension at the same rate, which means health insurance rates won't be adjusted to reflect the 5% increase in the GRT that starts in October 1st. NetCare's contract is scheduled to end September 30th. Senators are inching closer to what they hope will be a balanced budget for the next fiscal year. Discussion Friday focused again on the revenue side as lawmakers continue to try and bridge a nearly $140 million shortfall created by the Trump tax reforms. Nestor Lecanto reports.
It was day 5 of the emergency session, and early on, lawmakers passed an amendment by Appropriations Chairman Speaker Benjamin Cruz that will add about $8 million in new revenue by increasing the real property tax on improvements worth $1 million or more. Meanwhile, senators are also eyeing about $16 million in tax amnesty money due for payment on August 6th. Vice Speaker Therese Terlahi wants to lockbox the money for FY19, while the administration says it should be spent on FY18 appropriations. And so Senator Michael St. warns, don't bank on it.
Even if we were to pass this bill today, the governor has 10 days to sign it. He can sit on it. The amnesty money can come in, he can spend all of it, and then he can sign it, and then we just created a $16 million hole. And to be quite frank, I'm pretty confident that's what's going to happen.
I think we all just have to recognize, of course, you know, they could ignore it, but I think this is the best way to put it on the record and to show the people of Guam that there is another funding source that they could be using instead of an increase in taxes.
The spending plan favored by Appropriations Chairman Cruz combines budget cuts and revenue enhancements, but it's meeting resistance from several senators who seek to minimize the tax hikes, in part by boosting collections. The budget debate is expected to extend into next week. For Guam's News Network, I'm Nestor Lecanto.
Now, the annual event happening down in the Guam Congress building this week. Chris Barnett gives us a look at the highlights from Thursday's congressional address.
Congresswoman Madeline Berdallo covering all the bases in her congressional address last night at the legislature, from education, the military buildup, Chamorro self-determination, clean energy, Agent Orange, and even the state of the Guam Memorial Hospital. Berdallo owning the evening, citing 12 pages of accomplishments and plans as she faces a tough opponent in the Democratic congressional primary.
I have a record to stand on, and that's what I'm going to do.
Berdallo calling for the establishment of a federal task force to assist with the crisis at GMH, a new angle as the administration and the legislature gridlocked when it comes to operating on critical conditions at the island's public hospital. Even those across the aisle agreed with Berdallo's plan to engage Uncle Sam.
We do need the assistance from the federal government, especially in light of the fact that Medicare and Medicaid is being jeopardized.
While her opponent parked his campaign signs outside the Guam Congress Hall in a move that many in attendance told me was going too far, Berdallo spoke about issues she's worked on and gave credit where credit was due to those who helped her, even thanking her opponent, Senator Michael St. Nicholas, at one point. Former Assistant Secretary of the Interior Tony Babauta, himself once part of a federal effort to assist the CNMI's healthcare system, said the tone of Berdallo's speech was unifying.
The hospital, the buildup, the effects of the Trump tax cuts and what she plans to do to mitigate those shortfalls, and the fact that she's recognizing that she alone doesn't do it.
Robert Celestial, head of Pacific Area Radiation Survivors, said Berdallo mentioning Agent Orange hit close to home, given his work on issues of radiation fallout from nuclear testing in the Pacific.
The facts has to come out. A lot of veterans are claiming that they did spray it here in Guam. And so it is a correlation between the two because Congress has to make a determination whether to compensate the veterans and the people of Guam.
With the primary election just a few weeks away, Berdallo has been taking some heated shots from the competition, but she says that won't make her lose her cool.
I take the high road all the time. I always have been, and it's been successful for me.
For Guam's News Network, I'm Chris Barnett.
Concerts, cultural events, formal dinners, and even sports games happen regularly at the University of Guam Calvo Fieldhouse. Friday morning, the friends and family of Audrey Camba and George Vigues gathered to remember two people often forgotten who helped construct the Fieldhouse. Dr. Robert Underwood was proud to present the plaque on his last day as president of the university.
Every building has a backstory. It has unsung heroes whose names don't normally appear in plaques. The UOG Calvo Fieldhouse has two stories related to it about two largely unsung heroes in the financing and construction of this marvelous facility.
It was Audrey who secured the federal funds and George who helped see the project to fruition. The plaque is meant to remind all who use the UOG facility of the leaders who made the Fieldhouse a reality. A groundbreaking ceremony Friday for Tamuning's newest business, a retail store for top Chinese air conditioner brand Midea. Company President Franco Hui says he hopes to open up in the next 7 to 8 months.
We will be focused on the Midea's appliances item, especially the AC, all kind of AC item like split unit, window, split ducted. We have all kind of the Midea air conditioning and appliances.
According to its website, Midea is the world's largest producer of major appliances and the world's #1 brand of air treatment products, air coolers, kettles, and rice cookers. The company is headquartered in southern China and has 21 production facilities and 260 logistics centers worldwide. Sports is next, but first a look at your weekend weather.
make every day a plus.
Summer is here, and at Cars Plus and Mighty, that means big savings during our summer clearance event. Right now, save up to $8,000 on select 2018 Ram 1500 SLT Crew Cab, or save $3,250 on a 2018 Chrysler Pacifica. Voted Family Car of the Year. 1.99 APR financing is available for qualified buyers. Plus, buy today and receive a Cars Plus value card, where you get 21 cents off per gallon at all Shell stations. Don't miss our summer clearance event, going on now at Cars Plus and Mighty. Cars Plus, driven by you.
Where will your sip take you?
You're gonna need more than an oil change. Okay.
Try our new slushies at McDonald's. Tropic Twist, Blue Raspberry, and Cherry Limeade. Perfect for summer, for a limited time.
KUAM Sports is presented by Triple J.
What's up, Guam? Dave Delgado here for KUAM Sports. Thanks for watching. It's that time of the week again. Let's head on to Manila for your Athlete of the Week. Check it out. We're here at Renton Manila for our Athlete of the Week. Today we have Justine and Maneka from the Women's National Volleyball team, who recently won the gold medal at this year's Micronesian Games.
Congratulations, guys. Who would you like to donate your check to?
We would like to donate the check to Special Olympics Guam.
The road to this year's gold medal game was kind of a test for you guys with 2 early losses.
Yeah, the losses were tough. We played 5 sets both against Palau and Armai. And they really hit home, but we knew that we had to come back and play our game for the playoffs.
Yeah, and it was a redemption for you guys facing Palau in the semis and then Armai in the finals.
We definitely came back stronger this time. We had a whole new game plan when it came down to playoffs, and we executed it very well. I feel like we had a little bit more purpose to win because of the loss that we had in the first round.
What do you think the difference maker was in that championship game as far as play from the rest of the team?
The loss against Armai really humbled us, and that's what made us come back stronger in the championship game.
Upcoming Pacific Games, you were there 4 years ago. Where do we go now after winning the gold medal in the micro games as far as the women's national team is concerned?
I feel like we're going to do well in Pacific Games. We're starting training again in October, and hopefully we perform better than we did last Pacific Games.
And you both played together under Coach Mike Robigo at UOG for the women's team. What was it like playing under Coach Mike and the system implemented there?
The system is much faster than I was used to with prior coaches, but playing with UOG really helped because we get to travel and we get to experience different levels of play.
What's next for the UOG women's volleyball team?
UOG is having tryouts in August, so tryouts are open then, and we're just going to continue practicing and playing different leagues.
All right, congratulations. Stay tuned to our next Renton Athlete of the Week.
KUAM Sports Athlete of the Week is brought to you by...
In Jiu-Jitsu news, Guam welcomes instructor Jackson Souza to the Purebred Academy this Saturday. The multi-time Jiu-Jitsu champion will be the guest instructor at the Jiu-Jitsu in Paradise benefit seminar, which starts at 12 in the afternoon. The event is open to Jiu-Jitsu schools around the island, with the proceeds donated by Jackson Souza, Purebred Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu Academy, and Synergy Wellness to the victim advocates reaching out. For more info regarding the seminar, Purebred, or any other programs, call Professor Stephen Roberto at 687-1130. You can also email purebred_Guam at hotmail.com or visit their Facebook page at Purebred Jiu-Jitsu Guam or their website at purebredbjjguam.net. The Mavericks will be meeting up with the Barragata Crusaders Black in the U16 championship game of the Sinahana Youth Basketball League. The Mavericks beat the Crusaders Gray 48-46 in overtime to move on. Blaze Atta and Tyler Conception both finished the game with 11 points in the win. Dylan Trousseau scored a game-high 19 points in the loss for the Crusaders Gray. The Barrigada Crusaders Black picked up the win over the Sinahanya Rockers 54-23. Jeffrey Labanza scored 13 points in the W. Rockers Taj Rasa scored 7 points in the loss. In the U14 division, the Jotnia Spartans will take on the Sinahanya Rockers for the title. Jotnia Spartans 37-23 over the Barrigada Crusaders Red. Spartans player Franklin Spider Nanette scored a game-high 10 points. Crusaders Red Steven Stettenben scored 9 points in his team's losing effort. Sinahanya Rockers doubled up on the Inarahan Hawks 48-24 for the win. Rockers player Julian Bamba scored a game-high 14 points. Hawks player Joshua Meno scored 12 in his team's loss. Well, that's going to do it for sports. We're back right after this.
Say hello to high-speed data on the widest 4G LTE network in the Marianas. We've just upped your prepaid data, so make your big plans bigger with 1 gigabyte of data per day. Bigger prepaid data for your big plans that just keep getting better. Enjoy high-speed data and unlimited local talk and text on the widest 4G LTE network in the Marianas. Text LTE to 3282, select a plan, and enjoy 1 gigabyte of data per day. Docomo Pacific, better together. Some conditions apply.
The first encounter I had with Miss Liu was, of course, through the bank. I was going through some issues. I'll never forget these words because she was like, Alicia, you're the reason why my dad went into business, and we are here to help you. She was just very compassionate, you know. She wore her heart on her sleeve. I didn't think, she comes from a big business, you would think, you know. But then she just kind of reminds me of me, like, you do what you love, and she shows that she loves what she does. So if she becomes governor, I know that she would do what she loves, and I'm sure she'll take care of us. I thought you were calling us because she gave me a chance, and so many others a chance. I want to give her a chance too. I know 100% for me and my family, and whoever I can get to follow, we are voting for her because of this reason.
I'm Lilian Guerrero, and I approve this message.
For a limited time, receive a free $500 Kmart gift certificate on selected new vehicles from Triple J Auto Group. Get the car, the savings, and the supplies just in time for school. Top of the class deals like 2018 Mazda 3 Sport for as low as $16,995. Or our big boy truck, the Ford F-150, starting at $298 per paycheck. Or the sporty and stylish 2018 Honda HR-V at only $176 per paycheck. Get pre-approved instantly at triplejguam.com. Trade-ins welcome. Some conditions apply. Stop by today and with Triple J Auto Group. Customers first.
And before we close out the news tonight, here's our latest round of birthday shout-outs from the Cold Stone Creamery Birthday Club.
And here's today's birthday celebrant, Ken J. Sablon Paulino. Happy 14th birthday to my only sunshine. Love you always, Mom, Dad, and sissies.
Remember, you can be a part of the Cold Stone Creamery Birthday Club by registering online on KUAM.com. Please make sure to include your photo, your name, and birthday. And y'all know what time it is. It's that time to announce the winner of this week's Cold Stone Creamery Birthday Cake. And the winner is, I can't drum all anymore. That's me running in place. Happy birthday again to Lisa Ann Mesa. Her birthday was on July 28th. Happy belated birthday, Lisa. A rep from Cold Stone will get in touch with you to let you know how you can redeem your yummy Cold Stone ice cream birthday cake. That's going to do it for us here, but stay tuned. Extras next.
Closed captioning is brought to you by IT&E.
Half a day and welcome to KUAM News Extra, everybody. I'm Jason Salas, and we really appreciate you tuning in because tonight we will fill you in on tomorrow's DOE Fair as well as a project for building homes for families. That is wonderful news.